So I don't know if everyone's in the Philippines, but I know everybody because we're in a Zoom world now. You could be anywhere in the world. I like your network. You support each other. You guys could be anywhere in Dubai. You could be in, I've met some people that are not in the Philippines. They're employed in Dubai. So I want to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone. So again, the presentation is empowering you guys to excel in the US market. Who I am Kimberly Ann Chambers. I'm an enrolled agent. I am the owner of Dollars and Cents Tax and Accounting Services, Dope Tax Pros, and Remote Expert Solutions. That's my newest baby. I am an accomplished entrepreneur with a proven track record in tax and accounting services. But I definitely did not start there, right? So I'm going to go a little bit on my journey just to show you that we are one and the same. We are all traveling a journey. We're at different points, but we all experience a journey to where we have to go in life. So how did this all start for me? My father was an IRS agent. So IRS is the Internal Revenue Service in the United States. He was an IRS agent. He performed taxes at home for friends and family. And he worked at the IRS when it was on paper. So he used to do the tax return by hand. So that's how he knew the taxes. But imagine in the world in the 80s, when it went to computer with the first computers, to put it bluntly, he couldn't compute, right? He couldn't process. So I ended up doing all his input. And that was my start into the tax world. So at 13 years old, I started inputting the tax for my father. I wouldn't say that, I knew exactly what it is, but if you asked me where to put something on a tax return, where you're trying to do something, I could tell you what form and where it belonged. Very easy, because I did it every year cyclically for him, because he just was not fast on the computer at all. So fast forward a bit, I did not go into taxes. I went straight into a corporate environment. I excelled at that, still helping him a bit on the side. But as I went into college, I didn't even want to do taxes. I guess because I was doing it from 13, I ran from it, to be honest. I went into accounting. But my work life wasn't accounting. I was excelling as a manager in customer experience. So it was more customer service, hospitality in a corporate environment for a big corporation. I managed a lot of the interaction, emergency service, regulatory regulations. I managed that. I did some accounting, but my life was more customer experience. Fast forward to 2015. Fast forward to 2015, my father became ill with early onset Alzheimer's. And I had to jump back in and help him. So when I helped him, he had 13 clients left that would not leave him as much as he was not of the capacity to do things. And I did them, and I refound my love of educating people on taxes. So I grew it from there. And I became an EA like him. I became an EA in 2019. So as they retire from the IRS with some tenure, they automatically become enrolled agents. So I did that in 2015, and I took the flying leap of faith in 2018 because he progressed and became worse, and I had to help family. I went into entrepreneurship, and here I am. So my business story. So I started Dollars and Cents when I saw somebody's little child. I started Dollars and Cents when my father became ill in 2015. I started that. And then Dope Tax Pros came into play because in the US, I do have a niche in cannabis, legal cannabis businesses helping them manage their tax and accounting services. But in the US, it's still federally illegal, so it's kind of complicated. And I have to keep it separate. One, I didn't want to alienate my clientele, as well as sometimes banking is funny. Certain problems happen with, you know, getting money and collecting money. Sometimes you have to collect cash from those clients, that type of thing. So I kept the business separate. And then Remote Expert Solutions was born after the pandemic, and me utilizing outsourcing myself and a couple of colleagues asking for help in finding them virtual assistants. And I thought it was going to be virtual assistants that I was doing, but it quickly became kind of like recruiting and managing temp staffing. So that's my story. Much like you, in pandemic, I experienced struggle, you know, just transitioning my business to that model. Much like you, I'm still coming out of it and growing with it. So it's all a journey. I tell you all of that to tell you that it's a journey, and it's not a perfect walk, but perseverance is important. And I think that was a part of our prayer today, right? It's important. Okay, so why I share this? Now that you have taken the initiative to enhance your skills and include US taxation, some of you, I just want to talk to some challenges that I feel you guys will experience entering this US market. And although you face these challenges, I also want to show you the glimmer of hope and the fact that there is still tremendous opportunity for growth and success while you navigate this landscape. So high level, the topics I am going to cover, the challenges that come to mind for me, for you, is understanding the US regulatory environment, continuing education. I'm going to go through each of these more in depth afterwards as well. Continuing education, maintaining your certification, and reaching for the stars thereafter. Building a mentorship network. Building social visibility, walking the walk and talking the talk. Referral marketing, leveraging the who you know and what you know. Learning to join things or visiting virtual groups like BNI, or there's things like Alignable. That's more of a business directory. They have like Nextdoor and a couple of others, but I find Alignable is more business directory oriented, and they have groups, much like I would say a Facebook, that you can engage other businesses and regular people. And you share your knowledge, what you know so far. You can join global recruiting and hiring networks, much like Remote Expert Solutions, where we are kind of changing what our intention was, changing from what our original intention was, and moving full scale recruiting and hiring to assist you in getting direct placement or temp staffing. Definitely use Upwork, much like how me and Marianne met, and Fiverr to your heart's desire. One, to supplement while you are building yourself. You want to supplement and get project-based work, but not only that, you want to collect the positive reviews of your work. So that's a good place that is positive or negative. You can snap, you know, take a picture of the positive reviews and post on your social, you know, that type of thing. So you collect that. Another thing that's very important, and it's an elephant in the room, is effective communication and cultural bias self-awareness. Knowing the landscape of the industry you want to serve, the industry and the country you want to serve. And ultimately recognize your advantages and be strategic in long-term goal planning. Hey, Jack. So let me backtrack. That sounds like a lot. And, I gave you high level what it is, but I'm going to break them down and explain what I mean by that. So understanding the regulatory environment, there are complexities to the US tax system. Yeah, the accounting system is pretty much age old. GAAP does not change. Once you know that well, things I suggest you do is, keep in practice with it. And many of you are accountants in your own country, so it's not far. You serve like Australia, UK, Canada. You have to know IFRS. GAAP is not far for you to learn. That's not hard, right? But the tax code itself slightly changes every year. Every year. So it's important to remain familiar with the IRM, and that's the Internal Revenue Manual. That's the manual that has the codes. It is thousands of pages long, and it changes slightly every year. You are not expected to memorize it, but you have to know how to be resourceful to find your answers. You have to. And it's not that you're going to always be able to ask the employer. You have to, what I would tell you how to be strategic in the US market, that even if you don't know, you research first and approach your employer with what you think the answer is based off of research, because it shows initiative. It shows that you did the research first and you tried to solve your problem first before coming to them and just asking and just saying, I don't know what this is. That will always look positive in an employer's eyes, that you are taking that initiative. Along with that, because you may have taken the tax course this year, last year, whenever you took the course, it is important that you maintain the proper certifications annually. So there is getting your PTIN, renewing that every year. There's not really a course for that, but that shows, again, how serious you are about your craft. There is a thing called Annual Filing Season Program. I'm not sure if Bedrock, Joe and Bedrock offers it, but I'm sure he probably does. You should get that refresher update. The Annual Filing Season Program is not teaching you tax all over again. A high level covers what each thing is, high level, but it goes into depth, the changes that are coming for the upcoming tax season. So it focuses on the changes that you have to deal with the next season. And the government, there is a course that they want you to take to maintain your certification, to show that you have legitimately practiced your craft. You have taken another certification to update your studies. Also, if you are in accounting, maintain your Pro Advisor certification or whatever is in zero. Maintain that in the US, because again, it shows how serious you are with your studies and what you're doing, your career path you're pursuing. Another avenue, not only that, as many of you guys are on this journey or are curious about this journey, becoming an enrolled agent. An enrolled agent is not believe it or not, I'm going to blow your mind today. It's not the highest level that you can attain. There's a higher level, but you have to be in the US for it. There's 2 more levels above enrolled agent. Enrolled agent, the exam is one certification that shows that you are a tax expert. The enrolled agent actually tests your knowledge as a tax professional. It tests your wherewithal with all topics going from individual to business to ethics and procedures and your understanding of it. So that's what the enrolled agent exam. As an enrolled agent, you are afforded the capability of defending and representing and advocating for taxpayers, US taxpayers, like a lawyer, very similar to a lawyer. But you don't learn it by taking the enrolled agent exam. You get the designation to do so. You still need further learning. So there is one more, if you don't take the initiative to take courses, there's a NTPI fellow. So that's the National Tax Professionals Institute's fellow. Once you take that course, that is, again, 3 tests. I would say maybe 64 to 70 hours of training each section. But that trains you in the processes of an enrolled agent for defense and advocacy and dealing with the IRS in controversy in protecting a US taxpayer, your client. So there's one more step, believe it or not, above enrolled agent. Don't have to take it. Don't get it twisted. You don't have to take it. There are courses that you can learn processes. And the enrolled agent, once you get the enrolled agent certificate, you could do everything. You just have to take a few courses to just increase your learning and how to help the taxpayer. Building a mentorship network. I hope I don't, I hope I cover everything in time. Building a mentorship network. So if you are a tax professional, a budding tax professional, and you're 0 to 1 years in tax preparation, you might be fresh out of a training, you might have done 1 season, you should have connection to someone that's 2 to 5 years doing taxes. Someone that you can rely on, that you can ask questions. If not, find a group that has it, like Accounting People's elites, you elites. You guys stay interconnected so you can coach each other. You don't have to wait for a person to teach you, per se. Once you take the first level of training, you coach each other. The person that has 2 to 5 years experience can, believe it or not, was in the position you were as a 0 to 1 year and had probably a similar question that you have. So definitely build that network. If you don't have it, establish a smaller group. You don't need a gazillion, 2 to 4 people that you are comfortable with, that has more knowledge than you. Or even if they're the same, you feel comfortable with their answers. They're a little bit more, and again, learn to research, right? Learn to research. So building social visibility. Now, this is the walk the walk and talk the talk. It is important that you start posting what you know. Start having the conversation on social media in regards to being an enrolled agent trainee, learning taxes. Drop a post about, do you know what due diligence is and how important it is? How to maintain 5 things that are important to maintain for due diligence, what you have to provide your tax preparer. You don't even have to talk that, come to me for it. People are going to ask you questions or make note that you know. You can also segue to the fact that the reason you know is that you take training and that you are a tax professional yourself. You are certified in the US by having a P10. You've taken courses, you take your annual courses. You go drop all those hints, but you have to start posting about it. It's very important. That's how people recognize you as an authority and trust that you may be able to help them, especially in the US market. You have to show some expertise. Your LinkedIn profile, I've seen Yan Yan post about that in the group, and optimizing your LinkedIn profile. And if you have not done so, I urge you to do so. If you do not know how to do so, reach out to Coach Yan Yan. Start optimizing your LinkedIn profile to show what you're going after and where you are right now. That's important. I'm sorry about the sun glare in the back. The sun is up for me. So optimize that, but definitely share some insightful information about tax and accounting. I urge you to subscribe to the IRS. They send out newsletter on different things that are going on in the industry, what, updates, news. Take one of those things and post about that day to show that you are very familiar with the US market. There are things that you can explore. Join US tax groups and watch what they talk about. Grab something they talked about that's a hot topic. Even if you don't know, you see them having a conversation and it's a big post that, everybody's commenting on. Repurpose that and post it on your social. That's how you show that you know what you're talking about. So digital marketing and lead generation. So what's interesting, I know many of you, not only because you're here as a CPA, you guys have touched into the world of virtual assistants and probably have dual skill sets, have done digital marketing, lead generation. I wonder if you ever process that you are your own business and you need to take those steps that you have exercised for a client and do it for yourself. So with that being said, it's important to have a CRM that you can contact potential clients. Reach out, do the same email marketing, cold email, DM in groups, things you would do as a virtual assistant helping a business. You are now, as a freelancer, your own business. You are your individual own personal business. And if you don't treat it and respect it as such, it will be hard to get business. So there are custom CRMs out there that you can do prospecting with. We actually create custom CRMs. If you ever need a consult for that, we can talk about that as well. But you want a solution that can not only probably put up a web page that's like a digital resume for you, but it gives access to people contacting you and you talking to people on various social media platforms. You are your own business and you need to recognize that and start treating yourself as such. You have to have strategy around that as well. Referral marketing and networking, this big one right here. This, when I talk about this, I'm talking about BNI. I happen to be a president of a BNI chapter in New York. It's virtual. First year president, first time in BNI. I've been trying to get on for years, but they always have an account and I always got blocked. First time I got on, I got told to become the president. So it's been a journey, but I urge you, I see the advantages of that as well. It's expensive to join. I'll be the first one to tell you that. But it does not stop you from going there and using your quality visitor time where they give you the platform to speak and introduce yourself, because one of two things can happen. Someone in the group may need your assistance, Secondly, you might be able to align with the CPA or bookkeeper of the group and be additional help to them. So again, you never know what connections are made. Visit every US chapter that you can find that's virtual. Every chapter you can find anywhere that's virtual. If you're looking for clients, if you have a skill with Australian bookkeeping, if you have Australian taxation or Canadian taxation. BNI, virtual BNIs are a gem to explore. Another one that you guys may not know about is Alignable. Alignable is more like a Slack. I said Facebook before, it's not Facebook. It's more like a Slack, but it's businesses. You meet other businesses. You meet people looking to work with a person like you. Another platform that you can share your expertise and align and show that, you know, how I would approach it if I was in your shoes. You talk about your skill set, that you have an accounting background, but you also took a training under a US CPA. You were trained in taxation by a US CPA. You're also in a EA trainee program, or you've learned individual taxation, business taxation. Leverage who you know. You are associated with Bedrock. You took this training program, many of you. You are associated. I've been to a couple of your trainings. I know some of you personally. Leverage the who you know and what you know. Identify the individuals that you can utilize to refer you. Very important. And actively participate in these virtual networking groups. So, global recruiting networks. We are shifting from that VA mindset, and we are going to domestic and international recruiting and hiring staffing, whether it's temp staffing. So what I came across that changed my mindset this last season as I started is that firms are looking for back office help sometimes. They may not need all year support, but those 4 months are crucial and can be very lucrative. And although it may be a temp situation and managed situation, you could leverage that. So either with a network similar to what we got going on, you can find a direct placement if they are looking for that. Or you can be associated with temp staffing. I want you guys to always look for avenues that you can highlight your expertise so you don't put your eggs in one basket. There are platforms like, I'm trying to be mindful of time. There are platforms like Upwork and Fiverr. And although you could fill the gaps with that, I don't want you to look at that as just that. That's where you're sourcing your reviews that you can post when they say positive things about you. And even if they don't, that's where you employ a CRM. You have a system that automatically sends, when you're finished with this, if they didn't leave it on Upwork, you have a system that's going to ask them, how did I do? Please tell me, give me feedback so I can utilize it to grow. And once they respond to that and it comes into the system, that comment is yours forever, good or bad. Bad, you have the opportunity to apologize and possibly gain access to them at a later time. Great comment, you have something for social, something to leverage. So don't think of Upwork and Fiverr just to fill the gaps. That is your source to gain reviews. It's hit them and quit them, hit them and quit them, hit them and quit them. As you do those projects, you collect the reviews. That's the importance of it. And one of my last things before before my last thing. This is always an elephant in the room for me. Effective communication and cultural bias awareness. One thing about the US, we're either one way or we're the other way. Or there's some people in the middle. What you will find, oftentimes people are good with communicating with people that are outside of the US, but other times you will have people, and to put it as polite as possible, they just want to deal with international people when they're on vacation. They don't necessarily want them in a business environment. They don't, they're very challenged by that. You have to overcome that as a personal. You got to take those bruises. I've had clients that have talked to my workers in rude ways, and I didn't appreciate it. Because believe it or not, although I'm in the US, I'm not from the US. I'm Jamaican. And as a child, I experienced cultural bias, being teased because I had an accent. They would mimic, I say something, they would try and mimic what I'm saying and like it's funny. I didn't find it funny. What I said, I clearly spoke to you in English, but you're making it like it's not English, so although it's not an issue now, sometimes they hear my accent and point it out. And they're like, where are you from? And I'm like, if it comes across, I'm like, oh, I was originally born in Jamaica and I came to the US. And they're like, wow, the fun in the sun, the beach, this and that. But on everyday working, sometimes a heavier accent becomes a challenge. So I encourage you to speak more. Speak more until that learning culturally the tone and the reflections, the inflections of a US person becomes more comfortable for you. You get to learn their grammar, you get to learn, there's slight differences, and we are beautifully made. God made us beautifully as we are. And unfortunately, in the professional environment, we have to assimilate to the environment a bit. So things like watching US programming, learning to speak and practicing the speech. Do not feel discouraged to communicate with your clients. The ones that are comfortable with you speaking, speak to them more, because it will help you when you have someone that's like, because they are making you practice your inflections and you get comfortable speaking. So I know we like to retreat and be behind the scenes, and the more we can do in this Zoom and virtual world that we are, remote and virtual world, the more off camera we are, more comfortable we are. I urge you to start communicating, because Americans are very bold and upfront. Communicate more, learn to communicate more, and practice on your own. Nobody has to know that's your intention. It's important. That helps you get ahead, and don't take offense to it. Don't be open-minded as you can. And if you ever come across someone that's not too nice, you have the choice to not work with that person. That's always your freedom of choice. One bad apple doesn't spoil the bunch. There's more efficiency, right? So last bit, have a plan. Define your long-term goals, your aspirations. I know I have a couple of minutes. Oh, wow, I took the whole hour. I'm so sorry. So develop a very strategic plan to achieve these goals, right? You know that tax season is 4 months of the year. There's also extension season oftentimes in the US after 4/15, or there are people that do not, individuals, not even businesses, everyday people. That's where you attack after 4/15, attack Upwork and Fiverr, because there are individuals that ran from doing their taxes and they may have 2-3 years to do. Capture that market. You just have to know how to solicit it. There are tax groups that people talk about, Refund City, you know, where's my refund, this and that. Go in there and look what people, individuals are saying. Start making comments. If they know that you can do their taxes cheaper than a US person, guess what? You look attractive and you might have a client and a recurring client from that experience. So you plan out and navigate how you want to handle your career. Only thing I urge is that we are all on a journey and we want to make as much money as we can to survive, but be careful how many people you take on your plate as a freelancer. You can only serve one master, really. You can serve only one master. So be careful. If you have part-time, you're working part-time, you have capability to take more hours as a part-timer. Don't overburden yourself. It translates in the work you produce. You are not a robot. Self-care is important. So manage your time wisely, but be strategic. You can accomplish a lot just as long as you have a plan. So I am going to open the floor. I can't believe I took the whole hour. I am going to open the floor and open for any questions. Anything you guys want to talk about, EA, anything I've said. I hope these strategies, you guys found them fruitful. You guys took away something. I hope so. So I'm ready for any questions anyone may have.
Thank you so much, Kim. So there's a lot. I take down notes. It's 13. Have you even write all those notes? That's a good point, because normally as a freelancer, we're just, you know, they're always asking how to get clients. Then they didn't realize that taking clients needs a lot of work. And those things that you mentioned is actually, this is the entrepreneur day-to-day tasks, not only getting clients. So this is the misconception of those freelancers startup. How can I get clients? I have a background, I have an expertise, I am this, that, but I can't get clients. So if you do this 13 things that I wrote here, if you wrote those things, you can get clients easily, and you didn't realize you have a lot of clients already. Did you get my point? So, and then she mentioned that being resourceful, although good thing we already have EI, Google, YouTube. So I'm always sharing that when I started 2 years ago, I also have struggled on getting clients until I realized that I'm forgetting something, which is the marketing side, which is the business owners need to do, not only focusing on skills learning. It's good, but you also have simultaneous on marketing, learning, networking. It's character, attitudes, and network skills plus skills. Jack is here, so maybe he can share also some tips. Hi, Jack. So, patay tayo, English. Hi, Jack. Are you there? Hi, Jack. What can you share? So, hi, Jack. Thank you for being here. Jack is one of the speaker on October 21. He's also want us to support in this webinar. So, what is your input, Jack?
So for me, it's more of about this is what I'm always telling to other people. It's more of like following what your heart wants, because at the end of the day, even though that Kim has this, Coach Yan has this, Jack has this, if it's not something that you really want personally, it's something that, you know, in the long run you may ended up regretting with. So what I always tell to those people who are asking me, it's really important to start something from what's within. Is this something that I want? What is my goal? That's why I saw someone commented here. We're in, I think it's Cheryl. She mentioned Smart Plan, which is exactly for me a really good thing to follow. It's because you need to have like a specific, measurable, attainable goals that you wanted to pursue. So, yeah.
There's a
Uh,
question here. Thank you, Jack. Thank you. Sorry. Someone
yeah.
raised his hand. Maybe anyone can answer, or Kim and Jack can answer. Yes, Renee, you have question.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone.
Good
Good
evening.
evening, Kim, Chuck. I have a question with Kim.
Mhm.
Hi, Kim. You mentioned about IRM,
Mhm.
IFRS, and IRS. Are the
Yeah.
modules downloadable? Or if
Yes. IRM is huge, right? So there are digital versions of the IRS. Actually, Cornell EDU, which is Cornell University in the US, they have a digital searchable IRM.
okay, it is possible if you can share us the link
Yes, I'm going to look
for
it
that
up
one.
right now. And also, if you search on irs.gov a topic, usually it points you to the IRM version of it. They have their publications, and believe it or not, although IRS has publications that will summarize, give you detailed instructions on how to do things, and it will have notes on the IRM code in there. You know what, if you are doing a enrolled agent case and advocating or defending a client, they say that the publication, if you cite the publication and do not cite the code for IRM, they tell you that that's not it's not evidence. It's not evidence. I always thought that was crazy. That's on your website, IRS, but it is what it is.
There's always an update for that one.
Yeah, hold on, I'm getting it right now. So IRM, go ahead, I'm looking for the exact thing. They do have the Legal Information Institute, and I'm trying to find IRM in there. I'll drop it as soon as I find it.
Okay, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Which BNI chapter are you?
I am the one, it's called hashtag, I have to say it exactly because my group will kill me. Hashtag just do it, exclamation point, exclamation point. It's long, but they came up with it a while ago. And they wanted it listed high in the directory.
I see.
So
I'm gonna look for you in the BNI Connect app.
yeah, I am the president. I swear I'm doing a horrible job, but no one wants to take over a presidency. They're like, "Oh, Kim, you're doing a great job." I'm like, I want a break.
Oh wow.
This is my first year. It was a lot I think I have to catch up on, but it's fun to host. I like my little group. It's people, you get to learn people and what they are about. So it's definitely a good thing, and they refer back and forth to you. So
Nice.
Well, I think someone also raised her hand. Cheryl, go ahead.
Yes, Coach Yan. Good evening. Good evening to everyone. I just have a question for those already doing the freelance because about the reviews. Good reviews is okay. It will help your career. It will help your freelancing. But how about those negative reviews? How do you handle it?
So you get when you get the feedback from me, when you get the feedback, you have to take it by the horn and see if you could remedy the situation. Don't leave a negative feedback unanswered. Some people look at your response when you leave it there, like say on Upwork, right? And you got a negative review and it's public. If you don't at least try to remedy the situation, it looks like you don't care. You know, at least publicly make an attempt to see if you can appease the situation. If you cannot, you made an attempt, and some people look at your attempt to remedy the situation favorably.
Okay, Kim. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I always say address it. We don't like conflict. I don't like conflict either, you know, but at the same time, your attempt, because it's your reputation,
Yes,
to address the situation repairs oftentimes.
Maybe one review will ruin your freelancing career.
Yeah, but but your attempt, at least people will look at that you did everything. If the person comes back and say you did something, you know, you made contact, you attempted to do, if they respond back. Sometimes if you corrected the situation. So I'll tell you, I had one negative review in my life. And the lady left it on everywhere she could, and I'll tell you what it was about. I did her taxes. She paid her taxes. What happened was she wanted me to call IRS for something, and it was in the pandemic when they weren't answering the phones, right? I didn't have time to sit 2 hours every day, and then we wasn't getting through. You know what she told me? I said, you can also call. She said, I'm a doctor, and that's what I paid you for. I said, no, you didn't. So my answer to her was, you paid me for a tax return, which I executed. Out of courtesy, I'm helping you to resolve the situation that you're trying to resolve. She wanted to pay. What happened? They didn't take the payment. I think what it was, and she wanted to get on the phone. So she wanted me to sit on hold like I'm her secretary and bring her on the phone so she could pay the bill live, because they didn't process her payment, and it was like $26,000. So she was one of those people that were, you know, very uppity. So she left me a bad review. So guess what happened? 2 years later, she came back, needed help. One thing she said to me was that I can't take away from that you explained. I went to somebody else and they did my taxes. And although I had no complaint, they didn't explain to me my taxes to make sure I understood my taxes. So she came back to me, had an issue. She was divorcing her husband. And she wanted to know what could be done. She knew she could ask me a ton of questions I'd answer. She wanted me to do taxes. I said, sure, I'll do it, but you'd have to remove the review that you left. And she reviewed, I helped her, I did it. She had challenges with California, so the pandemic was a little easier to help her. She removed the review.
Oh, it's good, very good.
So your attempt, and I responded when she left it, that I apologize that you feel that way. You know, IRS is not picking up for anybody. You have an issue that requires contact with the IRS. It's a challenge across the United States to reach IRS. And it was what it was. When she left it, I just left it at that. I responded. I didn't know how it affected me. I didn't really ponder on it because I had other good reviews. I wasn't stressed. about that one. I was pissed because it was like a paragraph. It's a book she left. I was
Oh
so
my God,
mad.
it's
Yeah.
it's a story already. The review.
Yeah. So, but I have to take it with a grain of salt, and all I can do is continue to work on my rep, right?
Mm-mm-mm.
And then look at God, an opportunity came where I could force her to remove it. So
Yeah.
just
That's-
address it.
Yeah,
Address it head on.
I will
Mhm.
do that. Thank you very much. Hopefully there will be no, but it's maybe we don't know.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking at the same time, but you stand up on it, own it. If it's something that thing there, just try and remedy the situation to the best of your capability. Some things can't be fixed, and you have to be able to accept that and move on. But make your attempt, just like they are publicly giving you a negative review, you publicly try and remedy the situation.
Okay. Thank you so much for the advice.
No problem.
Thank you.
More
Mhm.
question, guys. So according to Kim, you have to practice speaking. So effective communications. Speak more,
Mhm.
right? So
Don't be shy. Don't be shy.
question, guys. Last night you have a lot of questions. Maybe for me, my question would be, this is also the questions that I'm receiving. So because, do you have any advice? What is the step-by-step certification that we need to get? Because me, when I'm starting, this is my own experience. I told them I just started as a bookkeeper. I even tried become executive assistant when I'm starting May 2021, just to be in the freelancing online. I tried because I don't want to do the bookkeeping anymore. So I tried being executive assistant in real estate, but I'm not happy. Then I tried bookkeeper, accountant, CFO. Then when Bedrock opened the opportunities of tax preparation, the reason I already told you, the reason I applied in Bedrock that time, because this is something that I want to learn, the tax preparation, because I'm seeing in a lot of job posts, you have to be a tax preparer. Then good thing that Bedrock opened the tax course, and now EA. So for you, for those who starting a freelancing, so according to Kim, you have to strategize your goal. For this year, what will be the first thing that I'm going to learn to get a certification? For example, QBO. And then after QBO, I have to enroll in tax preparation, because some of you already know how to read financial statements. So if you don't know how to create or read financial statement, you have to, for me, this is my point of view, just correct me if I'm wrong, because not all of the accountants, CPA in the Philippines was not able to be in the corporate setup who can be delivered or present the financial statement to the management, which is in the real world of freelancing, you have to be end-to-end. Bookkeeping, you have to present the financial statement. So what if you don't have that kind of experience? So start with somewhere, for example, accounts payable, then receivable, then general accountant. And then basically, if you know those department already, you will build the financial statement. And then next step will be tax preparation. And next will be enroll agent. So this is my experience. I don't know who can share their experiences, Jack, or anyone who's been in the industry for 2 years. Me, 2 years already. So this is my experience. So I strategize also my path, because you're already seeing me this way, but you didn't realize I also started somewhere. So for those newbies, you have to really plan. So next year I have to be on this already. I have already client on this year. I have 2 clients this year. How many clients do you want? How much income do you want? So it will start somewhere. So maybe that's overwhelming to at first, but that's why we have this community giving you some tips on how to start. So ang hirap mag-English, guys. Sabi ko naman sa inyo eh. Yan, pinalalabas yung English ko eh. So pero Tagalog. Okay, ano na naman, call a friend. Call a friend na tayo. 15 minutes lang English ko, tapos nagbabuffing na ako. Buffering na tayo. Ayan. Any
I have a question for
Yes.
Coach Yan Yan.
Yes, Renee.
Yeah, it's okay to what do you call this, to have 2 or 5 clients, but how to handle like a time management to handle those clients? What are your suggestions?
Yes. Okay. On this coming Saturday, we have also a guest, 19 clients. But I posted last 2 days ago that she also reached out to me how I handle those clients. So this is the thing kasi Tagalog na lang ah. So when you're starting, ang goal mo kasi when you're starting is to get clients. As you go along with the journey, you already able or strategize you're getting clients. You can close 2 to 3 clients or more. But the problem is you're having hard time how to handle those clients. In reality, you can only handle 2 clients, 1 full-time and 1 part-time. That's the reality. You cannot handle 3 clients full-time. Mamamatay ka nun. Tama ba? So meaning, if you came to the point on getting clients, the next step that you will need is to really delegate and learn how to pass the skills that you have so you can focus on business development. So, you know what I mean? So, yung pagkuha mo ng client as you go along, ang problem mo na, you can train someone on your household, maybe your kapatid, your nanay, pwede yun, nanay din natuturuan, pamangkin natuturuan. So, yun yung solution doon. But darating kasi sa point, I know Jack maybe can relate, after you have clients, you will also encounter burnout. But for me, I don't believe in burnout because Jack mentioned, as long as you know your purpose and you know you love what you're doing, I don't think you will mararamdaman mo talaga yung burnout.
Okay.
Sa una, mahirap lang talaga siya i-delegate sa una. That's why I'm so thankful for the intern because nakuha na namin how I delegate things. Alam na mga intern ko yan, naipasa ko na yung bookkeeping skills sa kanila, so wala nang problema. So, unti-unti, madadaanan nyo siya. Journey nga siya. Until now naman sabi nga, may mga failures pa rin naman tayo na-encounter. But those failures will be the one that lead us to wala namang perfect. It's just only, strive for perfection.
All right. Another question. Coach yan.
Miss Universe tong answer ko.
During the interview, do we need to disclose, for example, we have 2 or 3 clients, do we need to disclose to the interviewer that we have existing clients, or because I'm worried I might be rejected if I have to disclose all of it?
Actually, that's the point. Maybe ang sabi ko nga, if someone really likes you talaga, i-hire ka, they are open for negotiations, they will hire you. Just tell that I also have clients. This is my schedule. Are you open? Because eto lang yung time ko. And then if not, if di talaga siya sa'yo, meaning hindi talaga siya yung client for you kasi hindi kayo same ng gusto.
So you need to be honest, transparent.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. I was gonna add to if I can comment on that one.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
So Renee, if you're asked a direct question in regards to it, it's best you're honest, right? Because if you are a good worker and there are some challenges, depend on, every employer is different. If they really appreciate the work that you do, and sometimes it becomes, depend on your workload you're managing, something comes up and you might have to call out a day or whatever the case may be, they may be more forgiving if they are aware of your situation. You don't afford them the opportunity to consider your situation if you are not honest that you manage more than them. They might like you and want to give you more responsibility, and you being happy might say yes to it, but can you feasibly manage it with your workload? And it's an honesty to yourself and an honesty to that employer.
All right. Thanks, Kim.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
So yeah, because there's a lot of newbie here. So good thing we have a lot of newbies. So again, I want to reiterate Kim mentioned that you have to ask question because maybe that question is also the question of other people. Because sometimes we tend to be shy on asking questions, and you realize, I always sinasabi ko sa inyo, that's little small kindness every day. Just share kung ano yung tanong nyo, kasi baka tanong dun yung iba, nasagot na, di ba? And then you can share. Maybe meron mas expert dito. Kasi feeling natin kapag nagtanong tayo, baka mali, baka sabihin, hindi ko alam, tanga-tanga ko, babubo ko, which is not. Yun yung tanong, kasi yun yung tanong na hunger ka sa knowledge. Gusto mo lang ma-confirm. Pwede mo naman sabihin na, I'm not so sure. Is this right? So sometimes I always ask him every morning if I have a question regarding tax. Ini-screenshot ko talaga kay Kim. Walang nalang gawan ko siya ng GC para siya na sumagot. Pero di ba, kasi hindi ko rin naman talaga alam lahat. So pwede yon, you can brutally ask help talaga. Even kahit sino dito, pag hindi ko talaga alam, sinasabi ko hindi ko alam. Pwede nyo pong gawin. That's why we have group chat. You can ask questions.
Okay.
Thank you.
Miss Yan Yan, one last question. Are you aware of Tony Robbins' assessment?
Yes.
So, do clients rely on that assessment or not?
Included
Not-
sometimes, yeah, sometimes. But
Not
I-
too much
Kim.
though. Not too much, but it's good to have. So if you take the initiative to take it, it shows your work style. It's an example of your work style and how effectively you can work with them. Nothing wrong with taking it ahead of time and have those results. You know, it's also sparks conversation and shows your initiative to show whether you're a fit for their company or not. But I don't find a lot of people utilize it.
Okay, thanks, guys.
No problem. I see a question in the chat. I just want to address it so it's not missed. Hi, Mary Grace. What certification that we need for taxation annually? Annual filing season program. I believe Bedrock has one, I'm not sure, but I am going to look it up right now to show you an example. It's not offered through the IRS. Usually companies give it certified by the IRS, to be clear. Hold on. Let me find one. Or let me find IRS explanation of it. Hold on.
While waiting, any more question? Pwede Tagalog, guys. Huwag kayong mas stress. Ako na stress na eh. So, ano na tayo? Pwede Taglish, you know. Naintindihan ni Kim. Actually, she understand.
Go, Coach Yan.
Nakasa na lang yan. Pero when I'm starting also, ganun din. Nakaka-tense talaga mag-English. But yun nga, through practice, ikaw ba naman kumausap ng araw-araw English and then grammar, communication. So, hindi pa rin ako perfect sa grammar. I always sinasabi ko, not perfect in writing. Di ba gano'n ang accounting, hindi sila perfect in sometimes writing, I don't know Meron tayong situation, di ako magaling sa writing kasi kaya ako nag-accounting, ayoko magsulat. So meron pa rin akong ganong doubts. Pero buti na lang may grammar, autocorrect.
I have a request from Kim. Hi, Miss Kim. It is possible if you can suggest some, like, what do you call this? IOS tax group, 2 or 3, something like that.
I'll share with Yan Yan to share with you guys to join, so you get good information and just, you mean in Facebook?
Yep.
Okay, yes, there are some real good ones. There's some that's junk, but not really junk. There are tax preparers that are just starting just like you, and they are learning from not so great people too. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. But they oftentimes need help. So that's an avenue to be in there and still share knowledge that you know and stand out, you know. So I will definitely share some. The ones I have some education ones. I'll give what's good for education. If you're in there and they ask a lot of questions, there's a lot of experts in there, years of experience, that type of thing. I've learned from those groups, and there's some that you can utilize to possibly get work. as
Thank you
well.
so much, Kim. I appreciate it.
I will. You're welcome.
Yeah, any questions? When regards to tax questions, sometimes you can write, you can post to the main group because Kim is there. Maybe she can see the post. She can
At me, if you
comment.
just make sure you at me so I can see. I'm not there every day. And by all means, definitely, nothing wrong with friend requesting me. Nothing wrong with friend requesting me at all. One day I'm going to be able to speak. What's your language? Talang. I'm
Tagalog.
gonna. Yes. So just
Tagalog.
like I'm urging you guys to learn to effective communication, I'm gonna learn it so I understand. So, so definitely at me in the group and I'll answer. Or if you friend me, definitely ask me a question. I don't bite, not at all.
So I think Kim is coming on October, right, Jack?
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
Love
I'm
to see you,
working
Kim. So yeah,
on it.
soon we will see each other soon. Any questions, guys, for newbies, not so newbies, season freelancer regarding tax? Again, mahaba ang tax ng USS. So kahit yung mga basic lang, at least we speak on your language. May mga free naman sila sa newsletter nila. Yung sinasabi ni Kim, you should subscribe sa newsletter. And you can get PTIN. Actually, madali kung ano PTIN. Ipanotarize nyo lang yung passport nyo and then may babayaran kayong $30. So, madali lang siya. Punta lang kayo sa login ng PTIN. So, kala nyo mahirap. Just para masabi nyo kay client, meron kayong PTIN number. Am I right, Kim? It's easy. When you
It's
say
about
you have,
the PTIN?
PTIN,
Yes,
yeah.
$30. You just have to maintain it every year. Maintain your PTIN every year. That's like your preparer identification number. That's exactly what it is. Preparer tax identification number.
Yeah. And then subscribe to IRS. You will receive newsletter if you want updates and if you want content on your LinkedIn. So again, just be resourceful. All of that, basta yon. Be resourceful tayo. Nirapan na talaga ako, guys. So yon. So any question? Thank you so much, Kim.
Michelle,
for
I have a follow-up question.
Sure.
I just want to know, do you have upcoming webinar regarding how to market ourselves in freelancing world?
Actually, meron yan sa, sorry ayan, alam na mga taga-edit yan, yung coaching and mentorship ko last year, yun yung talaga in-emphasize ko. Ginawa ko siyang freelancing blueprint kasi yun yung nag-work sa akin and it works sa iba. Actually, hindi naman siya ganun ka-secret, pero I'm sharing doon yung talagang nag-work sa akin. Sa iba, nag-work na. And then, ang maganda lang doon, yung nagkaroon ako ng internship, mas lalo silang natuwa kasi nagkaroon kami ng intern. Pero on Saturday, I think we have a guest. Surprise pa yung name niya kasi nga 19 clients yun. Maybe she can share some tips on how she market herself. So ako naman, available naman yung mga materials ko dun sa YouTube. Pero pwede ko rin makayong bigyan pahapyaw. Which is, ito rin yung sinabi ni Kim. Yung actually being visible sa social media, kung makikita nyo ako sa LinkedIn, yan din yon. Yun din yung mga tips ko for the marketing. And then profile optimization and how to win clients and interview, how to onboard clients right away.
All right.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Rene. Yeah.
Thanks so much.
What else, guys? So, hindi na naman sila bibitaw. Kim, thank you so much. And I'm learning also. I write all your tips here. So, I will check one by one if I'm doing this strategy. Thank you, guys. How about you guys? Let's have a picture. Okay ba? Yan ang inaantay na picture. Thank you, Kim. Looking forward to meet you soon. And yes. Okay, picture, guys. Thank you, Jack, for visiting. Appreciate it. 1. Pa-type 1 naman kung may natutunan. 1, 2, 3. Pa-type 1 kung may natutunan. Yun yung favorite ko. Type 1. Type 2 kung wala. Yan. 1, 2, 3. Type 3 kung neutral yan. Yung walang pakialam yan. Deadma, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1 naman pala lahat. Very good, guys. Thank you so much, guys, accounting people. So, you can post na lang or message kung anong gusto nyong topic para mabigyan natin ng way ma-discuss. And then we have a webinar, accounting sa Odoo naman. Medyo serious tayo next week. Paki-take down note sa calendar nyo, okay? So, Saturday, 7 p.m., how to land clients, 19 clients in 6 months. And on Wednesday, accounting Odoo. Sino nakakakilala kay Odoo? Odoo ba? Odoo. Odoo 3. Yan, meron yun na. Para hindi kayo nami-miss out. Nasan po yung link, ano pong meron. Although maingay naman ako dyan. So, maximize. Ito yung tip ko lagi sa newbie. Guys, ito yung tanong nyo. Sa newbie, ang sabi ko lagi, always maximize all the free resources. Pakilapastangan po lahat ng resources out inside the group. There's a FB file section, there's a YouTube, there's Google, ChatGPT. And then pag hindi na kinaya ng lahat ng resources nyo, all you have to do is mag-ask na kayo ng mentorship. Third wish will be the upskilling, enroll in any certification, look for coaches. And then the fourth one be learning by doing. Apply what you have learned sa mga nagawa nyo yun. And for sure naman may result yun. I don't think so, walang result yun. So, it doesn't matter, walang kung maliit or ano yan. Basta nag-move ka. We have 73 years old here. This is Nanay Lumbing right there. Oh. Nay, kamusta naman dyan? Hi. 73 years old. So, yeah. So, ayan siya. Isa siya sa prove na kaya nagtatanong, pwede pa ba ako? Nay, tama? Sige nga, Nay. Pakikaway-kaway naman sa ating ano dyan. Ayan. So, ilit namin siya, pero learning siya. Even the Canva, inaaral niya. Even the Loom, lagi siyang present sa webinar. So, sana magsilbing inspiration si Nanay Lumbing sa inyo na kung siya nga inaaral lahat, parang sobrang naman nakakahiya naman sa atin kung hindi rin atin aaralin. Tayo yung mas may capacity to learn. So, yun yung lagi ko ine-emphasize. Kung yung iba nawawala ng hope, ayan si Nanay Lumbing, good example na merong pag-asa, di ba? So, yun lang. Tissue, please. Yan. Napatawa ko lang kayo. Sige, guys, that's all for tonight. Sana may natutunan kayo and I will post the picture and comment lang kayo sa mga takeaways nyo for tonight. Masaya ba kayo? Happy ba? Type 2 kung happy. 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 So, dapat sa Christmas, meron tayong hamon. Kim, I asked them to have a client to have a hamon. You know hamon? Ano sa English ng hamon? Hamon, ham.
Ham. Okay. Yeah.
Or cheese, celebration in Christmas because they have
Yes.
client. That's my deal.
So Kim is coming this coming October 21.
Yes.
I am working on it. Yes.
Yay.
Yeah, look at her speaking for me. Yes.
I'm excited to meet you, Kim.
Oh, I am too.
Yeah, Jack is also there. Annie,
Yeah.
sino pa
Yeah.
Papasok
Sir
kami
Jack too.
sa 21. Si Annie, si Mary Grace nasa Singapore pa yan. Sino pa pupunta, guys? Chance nyo nang makita si Kim, si Jack, yung mga speakers natin. Who else? Ayan. Recording po nasa YouTube channel ko para po kalabanin po natin si Ivana tsaka si Yan. Konti na lang Ivana level na tayo. Nasa 2,000 na ako, siya 22 million. So konti na lang. Yan. Si Ma'am Lina tuwang-tuwa sa akin. Sige po, that's all for tonight, guys. So, ayan. Abangan nyo na lang kami next Saturday.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Coach.
All right.